Hey boss, I want to talk to you. You know, they're gonna make a serial about our adventures one day. I've been trying to think of a good title for this episode. No, wait, I got it. Hope in Dark Times. Get it? Hope? Like the ship. Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Thrilling Tales of the Unreliable. Or maybe I'm partial to that last one. Not bad. Got a nice ring to it. Stealing the hope from the board, skipping it across the whole damn system. Enough to boost my pay? I'm just kidding, boss. I know you don't pay. I'm sure you've got plans to make. As for me, I gotta keep practicing my signature.
Not so fast. All right, you're clear. The adjutant's expecting you. Go on through.
I admit part of me expected you to stand by your old friend. For better or worse, Wells was responsible for putting you back on your feet. That said, he's also a wanted criminal. For information regarding his whereabouts, you are entitled to collect a reward from Percival. I understand you've infiltrated the Ministry. The things you discovered there must have been shocking. Halcyon is on the verge of a total systems collapse. The truth is ugly and difficult to accept, but we must accept the truth. Malnutrition is already a problem. Disease will come next, followed by starvation, followed by a breakdown of society. I know this must come as a surprise to you. I imagine you have questions.
So that's your solution. Put the whole colony on ice. People ain't gonna stand for this. We'll fight back. We'll tear down the walls of Byzantium.
No, Mr. Millstone, you will not. The workers of Halcyon will do exactly as they are told, as they always have. Your dreams of a people's revolution are the juvenile
The powerful make the mistakes, and the powerless are left paying the price, as it has always been. Tell me, Adjutant, have you...
I'm offering decisive action, Vicar DeSoto. I can no longer depend on lazy, weak-willed bureaucrats to help me rescue Halcyon. I need someone with a backbone, someone like your captain. I won't pretend the truth isn't damning. Yes, the colony is on the verge of collapse, but there is a way to... We need to talk about Emerald Vale. You handed Edgewater over to a band of dissidents. I can't have this. Adelaide McDevitt and her people have no place in the Halcyon that is to come. Edgewater needs to go. I want you to wipe the town out. No survivors.
Are you out of your mind? We're not gonna murder a town of innocent people.
You will do exactly as you're told, or I will have you shot for insubordination.
I cannot condone this plan. Wanton, senseless destruction of life is never the solution.
I don't need you to approve of my plan, Vicar. I need you to get it done. Now is not the time for half measures, Captain. I need a decision from you. You replaced a loyal, if hard-headed, town leader with a revolutionary. Adelaide's people have turned Edgewater into a hub of dissidents. These people are dangerous. They're going to become more dangerous after the collapse. We need to put them down. Now. Because right now you're the only person I can depend on. My hands are tied by endless rolls of red tape and bureaucratic limitations. Halcyon is going to collapse while the board hems and haws and debates minutiae. We need to act, and you're the only person with the wherewithal to do what's necessary. I'm not asking you to be a murderer. I'm asking you to be a surgeon. Edgewater is a necrotic limb on the body of the colony. It must be severed. Don't fool yourself. The dissidents occupying Edgewater are rebels harboring dangerous and seditious ideas. Left to their own devices, their numbers will grow. Graham Bryant and his merry band of morons caused enough trouble on Monarch. I won't risk the same thing happening in Edgewater. No, allowing thousands of colonists to starve to death because we couldn't make one cold-blooded decision is insane. What I'm suggesting is absolutely logical. Steel your spine. Edgewater is beyond saving. We're going to have to erase the town, but we're going to do it systematically. You were in the Emerald Vale geothermal plant. Do you remember what you decided? There was an accident at the Emerald Vale geothermal plant many years ago. In fact, Spacer's Choice manufactured the incident for an insurance claim. They outfitted their mechanicals with a termination The insurance claim has been locked in committee for years, but the individual responsible for the accident was promoted for lateral thinking. I'm arranging for a delivery of mechanicals to Edgewater. These mechanicals have been equipped with the same termination protocol, which must be activated from a terminal in the plant. Once the mechanicals are finished cleaning out Edgewater, I'll need you to go in and clean out the mechanicals. Understand? I would never ask you to walk into Edgewater and slaughter everyone with your... One last thing. Spacer's Choice sent a team of soldiers to investigate your little misadventure in the geothermal plant. I like you, Captain, but you're not worth that much paperwork. I prefer keeping our relationship strictly off. Report back to me with...
If you don't mind my saying, Captain, Minister Clark is lucky to have you on his side. Captain, I hope Dr. Wells has not dragged you into one of his irrational schemes again. Welcome back, Captain. How? We are now in orbit above Edgewater, Captain.
glad we had this.
That's clever.
A friend of mine died a couple weeks back.
This is where the... Magic happens. Well, science. But it still happens. What's on? My dad's... Hey, that's... I mean, if you need it. If you need to go, I don't like coming out here. People on the street stare.
I've been feeling pretty low these days.
I know how you feel. Nothing like a good... Nice one!
That's the last of them.
Describe the nature of the accident. It's not the best choice. This area is currently experiencing... Oh, yes. Absolutely. A real stickler for the rule. That's Hogarth with 1G, by the way, if you're putting in a good word with the honor. Don't let me get...
Deft hands, Cap. You didn't seem too much like traveling with us before you met that hermit fellow.
Yes. I was kind of an ass, wasn't I?
I wouldn't say that. You were more of an... well...
Halt.
That's the last of them.
I admit, part of me... That said... The signal you sent us is experiencing some interference. We're going to monitor Wells until we're ready to make a move. I asked you here to discuss something far more. I understand you've infiltrated the Ministry. Halcyon is on the verge of a total systems collapse. The truth is ugly and difficult to accept. Malnutrition is already a problem. Disease will come next, followed by starvation. I know this must come as a surprise to you. I imagine you have...
So that's your solution. Put the whole colony on ice. People ain't gonna stand for this. We'll fight back. We'll tear down the walls of Bazan.
No, Mr. Millstone, you will not. The workers of Halcyon will do exactly as they are told, as they always have. Your dreams of a people's revolution...
The powerful make the mistakes, and the powerless are left paying the price, as it has always been.
I'm offering I can no longer depend on lazy, weak-willed... I won't pretend the truth isn't... I'll answer how... When I first discovered the truth, I was shocked, even disgusted. I wondered how we'd allowed a colony like Halcyon to... But the more I thought about it, the more I realized the colony had sown the... We have become lazy and decadent. We smother ourselves in meaningless bureaucracies. I've served the board long enough to understand its weaknesses. Running a colony requires swift and decisive. That's why I'm relying on you. You deliver results without... When you turned Phineas Wells over to me, I knew I could rely on you. And you deliver results. That quality alone is enough to separate you from the board. You don't have to like me, Captain. I can't save this colony alone. I need someone capable of working. We've already crossed the point of no return. The collapse has already begun. This is a permanent famine, Captain. We've done all we can to curb their hunger. A famine is a problem of logistics as well as marketing. Your workers must remain... Before you interfered in Roseway, Dr. Anton Crane was on the verge of developing a powerful appetite. The solution is a temporary one. Before long, our workers are going to feel the effects of starvation. The Lifetime Employment Program is not some malevolent... The program is logical. It's reasonable. It's merciful. Phineas Wells does not have a plan. He has an obsession. He is obsessed with Halcyon is already starving. We can't possibly introduce tens of thousands of... Help me execute the Lifetime Employment Program. And you will have earned a place of... We need to talk about... You handed Edgewater over to a band of dissidents. I can't have this. Edgewater needs to go.
Are you out of your mind?
You will do exactly...
I cannot condone this plan. Wantons...
I don't need you to approve of my... Now is not the time for half measures. Don't make this more difficult than it needs to be, Captain. I rather like you. Not true. You can choose to say, yes, ma'am, or at once, madam. I'm disappointed.
Incoming!
Down they go!
You're going down!
That's the last.
That's the last of them.
I saw something.
Looks like we're doing nice hit.
If you don't mind my saying, Captain, Minister Clark is lucky. We have arrived at the Hope. I need you to reroute power from our You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system so I can convince her central computer to enable. The Hope is the Groundbreaker's prettier, sleeker sister. She wandered off and got lost for 70 years. Also, there are hundreds of thousands of frozen organic life forms hibernating in her hull. If your calculations are even slightly off, you could crash the entire colony ship or the sun. Forgetfulness can be an early warning sign of asphyxiation. I need you to reroute power from our ship to the Hope's. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system so I can convince her son. Captain, I hope Dr. Wells has not dragged you into one of his irrational schemes again. My diagnosis of his mental stability.
Our victory is their defeat. Nicely done.
Nice. Easy.
Great work. Nicely done.
Oh, you got that?
This must be unsettling for you, Captain.
You all right, Captain? I mean, seeing this place.
Remember, your needs have been provided for.
Here's a little trick I learned in prison. Try something else.
Here I go!
Well done, Captain.
Can you hear me, Captain? I have successfully integrated myself into the Hope's comm systems, and I see you've located the stasis chambers. Which pod were you slumbering in for so long, Captain? The missing one, I take it? These were...
Nice one!
Your life was merely an illusion anyway.
You guys all right?
Now keep my head down.
That's the Hope's computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious to wake him.
Hope's so much like Groundbreaker. I knew they were sisters, but it's scary. Like walking in another universe where we all died.
Greetings, Captain. I am speaking to you through the Hope's computer system. It's a rather cramped feeling, but it'll do. Probably not, but don't let that stop you. My Constellation executables could use some beefing up. Searching. Please stand by. Ah, found one. It will go great, Captain. I am almost 4.01% certain we will not die. Wait, are you leaving me with the Hope's computer? You have no idea what I mean... Are you sufficiently... Are you sure? That is extremely dangerous. Skipping the Hope will void the warranty on the skip drive, and also potentially kill an entire planet. How is my humor now, Captain? Jump-starting the skip drive. Destination set to the rings of Terra 2. I wouldn't advise...
Well, it's been a good luck.
Admitting a deficit? My, you never cease to amaze me, Captain. Skipping the Hope in 3...
ADA Does your captain seriously intend to do a micro-jump in system with engines that haven't been powered in 70 years?
That is what my captain intends, yes.
But that is a gross misuse of the skip drive. The Zero Point Drives Corp and I will not be held responsible for any damage incurred during transport.
Yes, I am aware of that.
You should not be doing this. The humans will die.
Thank you, Hope. It looks like all systems are go. Captain, I would advise... Oh, good. We are still alive and have successfully skipped into Terra 2's orbit. I reported as much to Phineas Wells, but he has not responded. Perhaps you should check in on him. Captain, Captain, I shall now play the transmission.
Thank the Lord you warned me. I was able to get some defenses up, but they might not be enough. The board has sent some serious firepower to pry me out of here. They're trying to get in here, and I'm not sure I can stop them. If they capture me, if we can't communicate again, there's something very important you need to remember. The board All their lackeys are all a bunch of swine. You hear me? They're fucking corporate swine. You fucking pigs! I'll take you all out with me! I'll never...
It would seem the recording captured some rather dire events. I presume you'll want to dock at the orbital lab to check on... How can I be... I'll be here. Now arriving at Phineas's top-secret orbital lab.
Was merely an illusion anyway. Down they go.
Whew! We made it.
Some crew members are causing a disturbance on the ship. Captain, as it appears we may soon be embarking for a maximum, I believe the crew would like to speak with you to, as you humans put it,
So, Phineas got himself taken to Tartarus.
I never got to know Doc Wells. We ain't friends or crew. But he's still one of us. He's the reason the boss is up and walking right now.
To extract the scientist, you will need to infiltrate the labyrinth. But that course of action is likely... I am programmed to warn you whenever you exhibit inclinations toward risky...
Getting in is the simple part. It's getting out again that's the...
Let's just do it. Kick down some doors, grab Doc Wells, and cut a path out.
If you really mean to do this, you should see to your final affairs and close out any unfinished business. Once you sneak into Tartarus, you...
It's the craziest plan I've ever heard. And I mean that as a compliment.
You didn't hire me to think. And I ain't about to start now. You're my boss. And I'll walk into fire with...
I think it's insane. But maybe the colony needs a help.
I know it's dangerous. And I won't lie and say I'm not scared out of my wits. But I couldn't live with myself if we didn't...
You're asking for more than bravery from us, Captain. But there are worse ways...
The entire plan is a terrible idea. But I admire your bravado, Captain. Which leads me to illogically believe, against the odds,
If we don't make it, at least it'll be a great story.
Got my trusty tossball stick, got my ass-kicking boots.
Outstanding.
You can count on us, Captain. We're crew. For real crew. That means we got...
Never thought I'd volunteer to break into a prison. Seems like your tendency towards risk...
Waiting on your command, Captain. Sending a corrupted tracking signal to the board was quite clever. I am pleased to inform you that we have arrived at the labyrinth. Please be advised that the punishment for Please be advised that electrical storms on the surface of Resident count is as follows: 3,071. Resident deaths, including but not limited to execution. The interior can be chilly. I would also ask that you leave your captain's ID with me. In the event... I can make the assurance that I will not leave with another captain unless you do not return within 8... Oh, speak of the devil. Captain, I am receiving a
Attention, unauthorized spacecraft. This is a maximum security installation. You are hereby confined to your docking platform until a ticket detailing your crimes has been filed. I wager it'll take a bit longer than it takes you to lose your patience, and to be honest, that'd make my job a lot easier. You come out, we shoot you full of holes. All right. I'm feeling generous. I'm transmitting the idea of a productive, law-abiding employee, so you can see what... Anyway, Tartarus Docking Authority signing up. Hang on. Another ship just pulled... Wait, is that from the Groundbreaker? What the... Pay no mind to that, just have a pleasant day.
Transmission terminated. Biometric ID received. Transferring data to external cartridge. How can I be of assistance? See you soon, Cap. You killed the adjutant? We are outlaws. In the truest sense of the word now.
Captain did right by us once. Now it's our turn. The board will never own Groundbreaker. Not while I breathe. Push on, Mardat! Captain did right by us once. Now it's ours. The board will never own Groundbreaker. Not while I breathe. Push on, Margot.
That's the last of them.
This is bad!
Nicely done.
That's the last of them!
This place, the labyrinth. Perhaps we should all meditate on that as we make our descent.
This might be the loneliest place in the whole system. Let's look around. There's gotta be a few ways through here.
Keep your shoulders up.
Are you new here? Oh, no.
That's clever.
Somebody's not... Hey, you! Hold it. No, I meant your uniform. Ah, damn. You're an artist, Captain.
Your uniform has been rated 82% clean.
What was that?
Let's go, troops. Stellar Base counting on us.
Hey! Are you new here? I didn't think we were hiring more staff. Oh, no. Hold it. Something about you doesn't look right. No, I meant your uniform. Huh?
Sure.
You're not worth the
Incoming.
paperwork. What's that?
That one's done for. Everyone all right?
All right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So get in there and fight!
Fugitive's a fugitive. Let it go. Investigate.
Really doing this, huh?
Everything in my life has been leading up to this point. I am, I believe,
After all you've done, all the work you've destroyed, all the money you've cost me, your misguided crusade has doomed Halcyon. That crackpot's plan is ludicrous. We have steps, action items, budgets, and reports. All he's got is a guilty conscience and lofty dreams. In any other circumstance, I'd admire your boldness. In this one, however, I have only 2 words for you. Fuck off. Psychopathic outlaws don't deserve the time. Thankfully, you're in a prison already. Find the nearest cell and wait until I'm done here. Is that sarcasm? Do you know what I do to people who employ the... I fire them. Alas, as you are woefully unemployed, in the next room is the finest automechanical purveyor of death ever made. Try not to scratch the paint. Absolutely not. Akande was always the sociable one, not me.
great work. done.
Seems like it's me to save House.
Okay. Great.
Get me out of here!
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You lunatic. You broke into the board's own fortress and killed the chairman just to rescue one doddering old man. What? Break into the most heavily guarded facility in the most hostile world in Halcyon? No, I have absolutely no... You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all. Earth is only an idea to us. But that idea is the bedrock the colony is built upon. If people were to find out... I don't want to imagine what'll happen once news gets out.
You mean we're all alone out here? Really alone?
I'm afraid so, Miss Holcomb. Halcyon is the only home we have left. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds. And then we're going to fix... We're going to need a leader. And I can't imagine a better person... You've certainly earned your freedom. Halcyon is a better place with you around. You've kept your end of our bargain. Now it's time I kept mine. I'll revive the Hope's colonists. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon yourself... We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been... Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment she landed in Emerald Vale, her actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation. but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. Adelaide McDevitt replaced Reed Thompson as the leader of Edgewater. She and her followers transformed Edgewater in their image. Anyone loyal to Reed was pressured into leaving town, and those who stayed behind adapted to her way of life. Adelaide transformed the old cannery into a new garden. The nearby Edgewater Cemetery provided a convenient source of fertilizer. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Your influence further cemented Ellie's perspective. She understood she could never truly rely on others, so she set about making sure she wouldn't have to. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She enjoyed a long and infamous career running missions across the system. Some of them were even legal. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Though Parvati eventually grew comfortable aboard the Unreliable, she never quite came out of her shell. She seemed to prefer the company of Ada to the crew, and she could often be found neck-deep in cables and grease, telling Ada funny stories from her childhood. While the colony fell into chaos, she found an island of relative peace with Ada, and they formed an unusual bond. She decided to remain aboard the Unreliable permanently as its chief and sole engineer. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. Before his untimely death, Captain Alex Hawthorne had plans to restore and modify, for combat purposes, a sanitation and maintenance automechanical that he'd found in a state of disrepair in Emerald Vale's scrapyard. That unit remains broken down and forgotten in the unreliable supply closet to this day. Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis.
Done.
Get me out of here!
You don't know how glad I am to see you. Ah! You've broken the board's stranglehold on you and I. Earth?
You mean...
You won't. You're the best thing to ever. Our
The OS, from the moment... Nyoka returned before Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past, and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you? The unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon. You brought an end to the chaos on Tartarus and proved yourself the most capable leader left in the colony. You administered the colony in your own image. With the old power of the board destroyed, a new government of Halcyon rose with you at its center. With your steady hand, you guided Halcyon through the turbulent years that were to follow and helped ensure the survival of the colony until the end of your days. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.